Welcome. Today we're talking with Jeff Newgard. He is the president and CEO of the Bank of Idaho. Jeff is a well-experienced banking CEO. Jeff, welcome, and thank you for joining us at today's Banker Digest.
Thank you. I'm really looking forward to it.
Great. Okay. Well, Jeff, so tell me a little bit about your upbringing and how it has influenced your approach to working with people.
Sure. Well, I grew up in Polson, Montana, just north of Missoula, Montana. And my father owned a service station oil distributorship business. And, a lot of people say they grew up in a small business, and we literally lived in an apartment behind the gas station for the first 7 years of my life. So I literally did grow up in a small business, and early memories of interacting with customers and the community, and to couple that with the fact that I grew up on a Native American reservation, that added to it that I really learned to treat people on a level that in the area that I grew up in, there was not much of a hierarchy. People relied on each other. Relationships were critical. And it didn't matter what spectrum you were on as far as your socioeconomic background. You played an important role in the community. You might be in a place where you needed help, and it didn't matter how much you had in your wallet. You needed that help. So it was really valuing people based on their character. That was the biggest thing that I came away with. And I just thought that was normal because that's how I grew up, and really seeing the fruits of the labor that my father put in. He worked hard, and that was just the normal. And so I grew up, and I still take that work ethic with me today.
Yeah, it's a nice place to set what normal is.
Yes.
Good work ethic, treating people with respect. That's a fabulous place to establish the normal level of how you operate. So thank you. So with your family, having been small business owners, how have those experiences influenced your approach to banking and lending?
The first thing is I love small businesses because they are the backbone of our nation, of our communities. There's a direct connection. I've seen it firsthand with that small business, the success of that small business, and the dinner table, and the impact it has on the family.
Right.
So that's the beauty of what we do. And that's why I love small business lending so much, is that you're not only doing business lending, but you're impacting families' lives. You might be enabling the ability for somebody to go to college or to just live a better life, have opportunity where they didn't have that opportunity before. Not all of these small businesses are overly sophisticated. They need a helping hand in a good banker. And so we've set up our bank to be that consultative banker where we can lend a hand and give good reporting, good analysis to help guide that small business owner. I remember looking at my dad under a car we brought in the wintertime, and it had so much snow on it that once we brought it in the lube bay, it started to drip and rain underneath the car. My dad's under there, and he accidentally hit his head on the piece of the rear end, and he was bleeding a little bit. And I said, "Dad, do you like this? Why do you do this?" And it's probably not the time to ask him a philosophical question as he's bleeding and has a bump on his head. But he said, "What? Do I like what?" And I said, "This. It's a mess. It's raining mud and snow, and you're bleeding. Do you like this?" And he said, "No, I hate this." He said, "But I love my friends, my customers. This just allows me to take care of them." And so we've translated that. That is exactly how I see banking. Yes, we're bankers for sure, but that's not what we do. We help people. We help families become more successful. Banking is just the vehicle to do that.
Right, right. Yeah, that's it's a fabulous insight, from your dad about, I may not like the work that I'm doing, but what the work produces and allows me to have a place in the community and have good friends and relationships, take care of my family, give my family opportunities. Just wow, such a powerful, powerful lesson and a powerful way to kind of go about your work of banking. So
Yes.
so thank you for that. So we're, as you know, we're now more than 2 years since COVID challenges started. Hopefully it's behind us. What are some of the key learnings from the bank's response to COVID disruptions?
So there are really two major things that impacted the bank, afterward, 2 years after. One is we really found our passion leaning into PPP and the SBA area. We found that we had a passion. I mean, you can understand that given the stories I've told you already, that
Right.
we see the impact that the SBA has on these newer businesses that need a little helping hand.
Right.
So we set up a department to specialize, and our goal was to be the #1 lender in Idaho, and we've accomplished that. We love SBA lending, and PPP just was the entry into that we found our passion. The other thing that when we were in lockdown and I was running the bank literally out of my basement for about a year. Connections were extremely important. Maintaining the social connection, even though you weren't able to be face to face.
Right.
The culture was very important, and checking in with people and making sure they're okay, and really they were under strain. So checking in with them, my position all of a sudden shifted to being a caretaker and making sure emotionally and they were okay, and to be flexible as far as their work arrangement. So today we have a hybrid model where if you need to work remotely and can, we will allow that. And that's kind of a case by case and how it fits the job. Obviously, a person on the teller line can't really do that remotely, but there are certain positions that lend itself to that, and we try to maintain our flexibility. So it really taught us to be flexible and mindful of where people are emotionally and in their growth, and to support them. And what I saw is a real lack of turnover as a result. So we're hanging on to people longer, and I think it's that sensitivity that's really helped us.
Yeah, that's great. It really sounds like an extension of, building the relationships, treating people with respect, et cetera. Very, unique situation presents itself, and how do you deal with it? So thank you, Jeff. It's really remarkable how the Bank of Idaho has responded to the unplanned, unforeseen challenges of COVID-19, and then turned those responses into new opportunities for its employees as well as its customers. So thank you for taking the time today.
Oh, my pleasure. It's been great. Thank you.
Good. All right. Well, good. In closing, thank you for joining us at today's Banker Digest. If you have additional questions for Jeff, please see the link in his bio.